Well, look who decided to show up. Hello, everybody. This is Future Thunder coming in before the actual episode starts. A while ago, if you look back in your Cinematic Relief playlist, we did an episode on The Room. We recorded an episode on The Room and The Disaster Artist. We sort of watched them both in one weekend and recorded 2 podcasts on them. But we never released the Disaster Artist episode. Whoops. So we're going on vacation this weekend, and we're not going to be able to talk about Dune or, Free Guy or 007 or whatever new movie we'd be talking about this week. So instead, please enjoy this, 6 or 7 month old episode where we talk about The Disaster Artist, the movie based off the book that is about the making of The Room. And Roger Ebert's review of Spy Kids 3D Game Over.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Cinematic Relief. I'm Thunder.
And I'm Lightning.
And today, well, not today, but for this episode, we watched The Disaster Artist, sort of a part 2 of our The Room
Yeah.
Cinematic Relief, if you will.
I had seen it before.
I had not, because I had never seen The Room. I watched The Room for the first time.
And I
for
think
this
we watched them
podcast.
in the right order.
Oh, yeah, of course. For those of you who don't know, I'm sure you know what The Room is. It's the worst movie ever made. The Disaster Artist is a movie based off the book of the same title. The book is written by Greg Sestero, the other guy in
I was
The
going to say
Room.
Dave Franco. It's not written
No,
by
it's
Dave
not written
Franco.
by Dave Franco. No, it's written by Greg Sestero, the other guy in The Room. And the book is like a behind-the-scenes look at the making of The Room, which is essentially what the movie was. And I'll start with this. I said this to you, and I said it in reference to Tommy Wiseau, but I think it extends further than that. I feel like there are some people who watch this and laugh, and then they're like, that was a funny comedy, and then they go home, and they never think about it again. And I feel like there's other people who are just watching it, laughing, of course, at the funny parts, but, just being like, wow, this is so interesting. This is, this is crazy how this, happened. And I feel like I was that person.
I'm in that category, too, for
So much
sure.
so that I actually, it's not here yet, but I did, in fact, buy The Disaster
Did you
Artist,
really?
the book. Yeah, I'm gonna read that.
That's awesome.
Because I want to know, I can only assume, because James Franco, who made this film and starred in this film, he's a good filmmaker, and I maybe it's giving him too much credit, maybe it's not, but I feel like he, of all people, would be like, no, I'm gonna make this movie as accurate as possible. If it ends up being funny, then sure, it's funny, but I'm gonna adapt this book as best I can. Also made evident by the fact that I'm pretty sure Tommy Wiseau was there on set for some of the filming of The Disaster Artist. So there's no reason to believe that any of this was
fake or
conflated
Hollywood
for the movie. And if everything that happened in that movie is true, I think I'm really gonna like this book.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to read the book because I've always wanted to read this book, but I've never seen The Room. But I also want to read this book just so I can sort of check the movie's work and see how much was accurate. Cause
I get that.
my God, I think we talked about this last time, but the fact that it's one fact, but it keeps going and going when you talk about it. The fact that this movie cost $6 million to make, and at this point, it's turned a profit.
Right.
Which,
that's the
good,
kicker. You hear it cost $6 million, you're like, whatever, he's rich. I'm sure that was a kick in the balls for him. But then it's and it's making him money now.
Right. But then you circle back even further and you're like, well, wait, hang on. I saw the film. Why did it cost $6 million? It's because he refused to rent anything. He bought every studio. He bought every camera. It's the only movie in recorded history to be filmed on digital and 35 millimeter.
And then didn't use
the 35 millimeter is in the final cut. And he said he wanted to be the first movie to do that. He was the only movie to do that. No one talks about the fact that Tommy Wiseau built a custom rig that both cameras could fit on. Yeah. But because there was
it's never
going to
get used. That's not revolutionary because nobody's ever going to utilize that.
Right,
again.
But I just feel like the fact that he built it himself is totally glossed over in the film. But because there was 2 cameras, there was 2 crews on set, which is why it costs so much money.
Also,
I wonder how.
I'm sure the CG costs money. They could have filmed outside. He refused. It's all done. It's green screen.
Right,
all
yeah,
the
everything is
backgrounds.
green screened. I wonder how accurate I'm sure this is such like a one-off thing that I'm sure it's from the book and thusly from real life. But I wonder how accurate the no air conditioning old woman fainting scene was.
I know.
Because like of all the things, like fucker makes a custom bathroom that no one else is allowed to use. He buys a studio just for this one movie, but he doesn't want to pay for air conditioning.
That's so funny, Greg. No, wait. What's his name in the movie?
Greg.
It's definitely not. Is it Greg?
Oh,
No,
Mark.
Mark.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. Oh, hi, Mark. I should have.
No, but you see what I'm saying? Like, if you're gonna pay for all this, why not just
No, yeah.
pay for air conditioning also,
or water.
or water? Oh my God, yeah.
They won't give you water
that
in
was-
Hollywood.
That was such a ridiculous scene. Ridiculous in the They won't give you water in Hollywood. Fuck.
I'm on Santa
Isn't
Claus.
it Seth? Is it Seth Rogen who's like they will give you, they will do that.
Also, is there not a faucet anywhere nearby?
Yeah.
Like
I
I
don't
know they want him to get bottled waters, but when this old woman faints, nobody can just run to the bathroom, get her some tap water.
Yeah. No, but that was just such a crazy one-off thing that happened. Like, it has to be from the book.
Yeah.
And like that's so that part specifically stuck out to me was like, this guy's weird. This is weird. This isn't like, oh, I'm a weirdo. This is weird. This is like you should like
Be sued?
or like take it more seriously.
Yeah. Where do you think the money came from?
I don't know.
No, just you. What does Anthony think? You hear Tommy Wiseau, you hear $6 million. Endless pit, by the way, is what they call bottomless pit.
Yeah.
Is what they call his bank account.
Well, see, here's the thing. Tommy Wiseau is old. He said he never reveals his age for some reason, but he's clearly old.
Mm-hmm.
Could he have? In my head, it's two things. He could have fought in a war.
How is that making him money?
Don't you get? You don't get money for fighting in a war?
Yeah, you get paid to fight, but there's literally homeless vets left and right. You don't get paid a lot to be a soldier.
Well, my other thing was maybe he invented something.
He'd have a patent
Right.
somewhere.
But he doesn't have to flaunt that.
No, but don't you think there's somebody out there trying to do as much Tommy Wiseau? The wiki page. Don't you think there's somebody trying to find out as much info
Right,
on
yeah,
him
that's
as
a
you
good
can?
point. I went to the Wikipedia page because I was explaining to Chris that on Wikipedia, if you don't know, like, if it's a historical figure, they'll be like, we're not quite sure how old he was, but we think he was probably this age at this time period and lived between these two time periods. Tommy Wiseau, in his, like, drop-down menu where it's supposed to say, like, age, occupation and stuff, it lists his occupation and it's got his signature and that's it.
Yeah.
Basically.
And it's supposed to have a laundry list of
yeah, it's
information.
supposed to say, I mean, it doesn't have to because obviously people are private. Exhibit A, Tommy Wiseau, but usually it says age, who they're married to, who they were married to, where they were born, like where if they like were born somewhere and then grew up somewhere else. Sometimes that's there too. How old they are? Like it's so like.
You know what my theory is?
What is your theory?
I have two as well.
Okay. Well, I have one now.
Well, yeah, now you have. Sorry. I think he inherited the money.
Oh, that's actually. You know what? That's probably it.
That's probably it. It's a lot of money to inherit. Or
yeah, assuming because all we know about this amount of money is that it's
more
bottomless.
than $6 million. It's so much money that $6 million was nothing to him.
Right.
But he could not buy water.
So weird.
Either that, or in the 80s he was a drug dealer, like a heavy duty coke dealer in like Florida.
If he
or
was
something.
a super lucrative drug dealer, but he was also doing drugs, that would explain.
That would explain almost everything.
That would
wouldn't it?
explain the money and the him. Like
and why he's so secretive about everything,
right?
Why he doesn't want people to know.
Would, you know what? That would not necessarily selling and buying drugs, although that could be it. That would explain why he's so secretive if it was like he has all the money because of illegal means.
Yeah,
that's probably what. I think yours are better than mine. I think it's either inheritance or something illegal. But that doesn't... Why is he secretive about his age? He's going to die, and we're going to put question mark to question mark on his tombstone.
I think one of two things, following the rabbit holes I've created. Him inheriting the money, I think he's very insecure about it. You inherit that much money, that changes your life. You did nothing to achieve it. I think he's a man who's strived his whole life to achieve something he wanted, clearly. I mean, that's clearly, that is Tommy Wiseau.
Up until he made a movie.
That was nothing.
He didn't do that, but he still had the money.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think his goal in life being an actor, he was clearly past his prime, and that's why he never divulged his age.
And he always says... His answer is always, I'm your age.
Yeah.
Even if it's like a 12-year-old kid.
And I think him wanting to be from the United States or claiming that he's from New Orleans,
right,
is because he knows in quotes. I mean, I guess maybe in the 90s and early 2000s, but like there's British actors who are who are leads in a
American
bunch of
films.
movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he was worried you have to be an American to be an American lead.
That sounds like a Tommy Wiseau thought.
And that's category 1. Category 2, he's hush-hush about everything because he made all his money illegally. If he divulges any or too much information about himself, maybe somebody could find some facts about him.
Yeah. And he's done a good job.
Nobody knows anything.
There's a whole movie about him, and we still don't know.
Yeah. Speaking of movies about him, the Disaster Artist also hints at a making of The Room documentary.
Yeah, it's definitely out there.
If it's real, I want to watch that too.
Well, you mean the one they're filming?
Yeah, he has that guy on set, and
you think
he's
that
like
got
spying
released,
on
or you
everybody.
think he was just being weird?
He might have just been being weird. I wouldn't put it past him. The guy made his own bathroom, even though there's a bathroom in the place.
Yeah.
But if it's out there, I want to see it.
I also, well, I feel like we did see it, though. I feel like Disaster Artists, we got the point, you know what I mean?
That would be the raw, there's no denying it.
Right,
We saw a Hollywood version, as real or fake as it is. I also, I believe in James Franco's integrity. I assume he's going to do it to the best of his ability. It's still Hollywood. There's no denying what's on film.
Right.
That happened. That was real life. That actually happened. And I'm curious to see what's actually caught on there.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if that was ever made into anything. I have literally no idea. I also didn't know that The Disaster Artist was such a star-studded film.
Oh, yeah?
It's got... I knew about Seth Rogen and Dave and James Franco, obviously, but it's got fucking Zac Efron, Eric Hutcherson, Alison Brie, I just had it, Paul Scheer. Paul Scheer's character was, like, cool. I liked him. Yeah. I will say, it is kind of weird. They've done this a couple times. It is kind of weird when Dave Franco and James Franco play two on-screen characters, but they're not related.
Yeah.
Because, like...
They look exactly
I know
alike.
that James Franco is makeup to look like Tommy Wiseau, and Dave Franco, at least a little bit, is made to look like Greg Sestero. And when they're, like, filming it, it, like, really shows. But, like, in Act 1 and Act 3, they just look like brothers.
Yeah.
And it's hard for me to forget that they are real-life brothers. So I thought that was interesting. But it makes sense. Who can I get to play me opposite this role? Oh, I know.
Your brother?
He's my brother. He's a good actor, and he's also my brother.
He also looked a lot like Greg.
He did when he got the beard. When it was like filming time. That's what I mean. I think they put a fake nose on him.
Probably. Oh, but what he's doing with his mouth too, just that kind of dumb smile.
Yeah, yeah.
He either already had that smile, which the actor, human being, also had, the actual Greg.
Yeah.
And that's just a huge coincidence. Or he, like, taught himself to make that grin, which can't be easy.
It's not a normal face that Greg Sestero makes.
No.
It's
and he does it perfectly.
He does, yeah. Especially, okay, There's the one scene in The Room. I know The Room is not the movie we watched for this episode. We watched The Disaster Artist, but fuck you. We talked about Spy Kids 3 for like a half hour last time, and we're going to do it again this episode. The one scene where, the first scene where Lisa's like, come on, have sex with me, and he's sitting in the chair, and he's just like, what? Why would I do that?
Yeah.
The whole time he's got that fucking smile,
Yep.
and I'm just like, I'm watching The Room, I'm just like, this is either the worst or best acted scene I've ever seen.
I'm gonna say the worst.
Either this guy's a piece of shit and sucks at this, or he's trolling and he's doing like a real good job trolling. Because when we talked about The Room, I lamented about the fact that they fucking sound like they're babies.
Yeah.
How Lisa and Mark specifically are just like, I don't like him anymore. Like, they just talk like toddlers. Sorry, I was just reminded. I don't know why looking at the audio setup reminded me of this, but I was just reminded of that scene where they make the entire party go outside so they can fight, and then not even 2 minutes later, they're like, all right, everyone come back in, and the party was just okay with that.
Yeah. No, we talked about that in the last one too.
It's just,
We'd be the sticklers who are like, no, I'm comfy right where I am.
go fight outside.
Yeah.
I'm in a chair. Here's where my head would be at. I'm in this chair. If you fucking send me outside and make me come back in, I'm not gonna have this chair anymore.
Right.
Someone else is gonna grab this chair, and I am currently in this chair.
Let's talk about the after the credit scene.
Yes. Oh my God. The after the credit. Oh wait. Which one? Both.
Let's talk about both. Let's talk about the one with the man himself.
Yeah. That was. I know why they did it.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was just. It was weird. I liked it. It was. How many takes do you think that took? Because
That's
in
the
the movie,
question.
if you haven't seen The Disaster Artist, there's a whole scene about how Tommy Wiseau's first line reading on camera, the first time he was going to be on camera, took like 32 takes.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And there's a scene, it's an after the credit scene, but there's a scene in this movie with Tommy Wiseau in it playing not Tommy Wiseau. And I'm just like, how many did that take?
Well, they never say he's not playing Tommy. He's just
Well, he can't be, because James Franco is playing Tommy in that scene. And
I think it's a Tommy Wiseau scene where maybe there just is Tommy Wiseau's in that scene. It's just non-canonical to the movie.
Well, then why did they dress him up?
I don't think I think that's just 2017 when this movie came out. That just might be what Tommy Wiseau's looking like.
Oh, I
these
guess
days.
you're right.
I will say that scene happens very smoothly. There's nothing weird. I mean, besides the fact that there's two Tommy Wiseau's in the room.
Right.
There's nothing cringy that happens in that scene.
No, it's
that
just...
isn't played for laughs.
Right, yeah.
Which tells me one of two things, and it might be a mixture of both. Tommy Wiseau has grown as an actor. He could. People can learn. People can get better at things. Look at us with this, with what we're doing. Please don't watch the first 4 months of Thunder and Lightning Gaming. I mean, if you
I know
want
that our One Marvelous Scene has a deceptive 700 views, but it's
don't watch
garbage from a toilet.
Yeah, don't watch it. People can grow. Artists can grow. But I think it's a mix of that and a mix of that was a Hollywood scene. There was a director who was not Tommy Wiseau directing that scene.
Yeah.
Who told everybody what to do, when to do it, and how to do it.
Yeah.
Even if they were just going off script, if they were just making up whatever they want, that was a Hollywood production. That was a real Hollywood production happening. And I think, if nothing else, that's the director and editor of The Disaster Artist flexing what a real movie scene should look like.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
I think that was not a quest, a challenge where they were like, we'll put the actual Tommy Wiseau in a real scene and it'll go off without a hitch, because that's what happens when you have a real director and real editor. I mean, no offense to the editor of The Room, he had what he could work with, but which
was 2 full films, the same film twice. And I want to be in the room where that guy's watching them back to back. He's just like, this one's unusable. What am I doing with all this footage? Plus, it was 2003, so it probably took up quite a lot of computer space to edit that film together.
Oh yeah. But
it's just like, how fucking dare you send me 2 films, the same film twice?
I guess I won't put anybody except the director on the spot, but it just shows what you can. I think that's just them saying this is what you can do with a seasoned
Yeah.
director.
The
crew.
director is Mr. James Franco.
Oh, there you go.
So yeah.
The director.
So
That's
yes.
even. Wow, he mirrored Tommy. He's like, I'll put the director in the scene.
With me playing him.
Right. And this is my scene versus all of Tommy's movie. Which one was cleaner?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, this is an A24 movie. That makes sense. Dude, sorry. If I can go on a quick tangent, I know this has nothing to do with the Disaster Artist at all, but I just noticed that Disaster Artist is made by A24. A24 picked up Has-Been Hotel. Have I talked to you about Has-Been
No.
Hotel? It's okay. It's an animation. It's a half-hour web animation, and it's called Has-Been Hotel Pilot, and it's basically a musical cartoon for adults about life in hell.
Oh, okay.
And Has-Been is spelled Hazbin. But it's called Has-Been Hotel Pilot, but it's the only one that exists. There's
Good.
a prequel. It's called Hell of a Boss. It's not Has-Been Hotel 2, but I have seen it. It's arguably better. But Has-Been Hotel 2, I mean, no, not what I just said. Has-Been Hotel is finally, after like a couple years, going to be an actual TV show.
Oh, that's cool.
They haven't said if it's like on a channel or Netflix or whatever, but A24 is producing a Has-Been Hotel TV show with the guy who made it. I just remembered that, and I'm so fucking excited for that because I just learned about Has-Been Hotel, and I watched all of it in one night.
Yeah.
And then I was like, so there's no more? And now we're like 2 months later. It's just cool that happened, and I was there for it. The other after the credits scene was just a delight.
And you were excited about that. I want to hear what you think.
Well, here's why I was so excited. Because what they do is, it's not even after the credits. It's before the credits. This happens, and then the credits, and then that scene that Chris was talking about with actual live-action Tommy Wiseau in it. I don't know why I said live-action, as if Tommy Wiseau's animated. He's CGI the whole time.
I wouldn't doubt it. $6 million.
That's why, because he wasn't actually in the movie. It was a CGI replica.
That's pathetic. If that's the best they could do.
That's why the acting's so bad, because it's voice acted. And Tommy Wiseau. Yeah. Anyways. No, it was the real scene. It was like 10 or 12. It was a bunch of them. It was like 10 or 12
Some
scenes.
of which weren't even in the actual film, The Disaster Artist.
No. Because okay, so here's the deal. There's a part in this movie where it'll just cut to them recreating a scene from The Room, and those were the best parts of the film.
Okay.
For me at least, I thought they were so cool, and I was a little upset that they didn't do the flower shop scene.
Yeah.
So the flower shop scene starts, and I get excited, and then I notice that there's two flower shop scenes going on at the same time because it's the remake and the original with the audio running at the same time, and they did that with like. I'm not joking. It was like 15 scenes from The Room that they recreated. Yeah, it was so cool. I was like, this is perfect. This is a perfect way to
end the Disaster
film.
Artist.
Yeah. It was. They didn't, and that's the thing. They didn't have to do that because that's not in the book.
No.
You know, it was just so.
And
that was
some
that
of
was
them
a product.
Were creepy. How like on the spot.
Oh, I know. Some of them were like, Some of them were like, which one's which, for real.
Yeah.
That is a product of James Franco and Seth Rogen and all the people who produced this film and directed it going the extra mile. Like, they adapted a book into a movie, sure, but then they did that shit. And I was like, mad respect. Also, this is kind of the best part of the film.
Yeah.
You, James Franco, have just brought my rewatch of this movie from a maybe to a definitely someday. Because that's just so cool.
I mean, you could probably look up that bit if you wanted.
No, I know, but now if anyone's like, I've seen The Room, I haven't seen The Disaster Artist, I think I'll quicker be like, let's watch it, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Because I really did like it. I don't know if I said that or not. You clearly like it. You were talking about it last time.
I've watched it like 4 times.
Oh,
not
damn.
Gonna lie. It's kind of been the movie where like if I'm going to sleep and I want something that's gonna mildly keep me entertained until I go to sleep, I'll put The Disaster Artist on.
I was thinking about that the other day. I don't think we've ever talked about this. You, for a couple years, basically while you were in college, you would lull yourself to sleep with the sounds of Adult Swim.
Yeah.
It would be like reruns of JoJo or Dragon Ball or Family Guy or Robot Chicken, and then you would get blasted awake by the screechings of Teen Titans Go.
Do you know what I do now? Because I still do that sometimes.
Yeah.
because it's more for the light
Yeah,
than anything else. It's just how I fall asleep.
Yeah.
I'll just mute the TV.
Oh, really?
Because somebody told me, and I believe this. I still think it's true. If you leave a little bit of white noise, like I have a fan in AC in my room.
Yeah.
If you leave a little bit of white noise on, and I'm a musician and I listen to loud stuff, so I have to, I worry about my ears. It's gonna make your ears listen more intently while you're asleep to the white noise that's going on, so it's gonna heighten your ability to hear things.
Yeah.
So that's why I always left the TV volume on just a little bit, but
Yeah.
now it just pisses me off. Cause of
It can't still be Teen Titans Go, right?
Oh yeah, no, they're gonna beat that dead horse silly.
There's not. Maybe I should have asked this up front. There's not new episodes of Teen Titans Go, right?
I don't know, and I don't give a shit. I can't explain to you. I see that hatred intensifies, and then I just change the channel to whatever's on.
If I may,
Yeah.
there's many Teen Titans Go comic books.
Yeah.
I've actually been reading one.
Oh no.
It's called Teen Titans. I think it's called Teen Titans Go on a Roll. They're playing a D&D game. The end.
Oh okay.
It's good. I like it.
That's good.
I've only read the first 2 issues, but I like it.
Show's annoying.
Oh yeah, no, that's why I think I'm enjoying it, because I can't hear the comics.
Right.
But no, I know what you're saying. I also if I like really want to fall asleep, I still keep on like a YouTube video or something. But what I
Yeah.
usually do is I just turn the other way, so I can't see it, but I can still hear it, because I
Mhm.
need to focus on words. I've ruined myself because of that. I loved The Disaster Artist.
Good.
Definitely not my favorite movie we've done on Cinematic Relief.
No,
Obviously,
we've
watched
seen some good ones. We
watched
saw Endgame.
Endgame, yeah, in theaters like day of. Still can't believe. I know I've never talked about this before, but I still can't believe that nothing got spoiled for me with Endgame. I'm so relieved. If anything in the history of
Oh, I
everything I've
know.
watched, like huge spoiler alert from Umbrella Academy season 2. As I was watching the Umbrella Academy, and I like went to the bathroom or something, I was like on Google News, and someone mentioned, like I said, huge spoiler for Umbrella Academy season 2. Someone mentioned the Sparrow Academy,
Yeah.
and I was like,
oh no,
I
I
was
didn't
like,
get that ruined for me.
"What's that?" And I had my theories, because all I read was the word Sparrow Academy. And when it got to the very end, I was like, well, there it is. And when it
Aw.
got to like almost the very end, I was like, that's the fucking cliffhanger. I'm so upset. But I'm so glad that of all the things I could have been ruined for me, Endgame was not, because Endgame is like filled with like spoilers
Oh yeah.
that they put in the trailers for like week of or whatever. Like after it was, do you remember that? After the movie came out, there was trailers. It was like, go see this. And they put like Rescue and the hammer and all this shit in the trailers. It's like, what are you doing? Why did you do this?
I'm so glad the hammer wasn't spoiled for me.
That
in
would have ruined
Endgame.
the movie for me if
Yeah.
I knew that. Because that's the spoiler, right? That's the Darth Vader is Luke's father of Endgame.
Yeah.
No, I liked it a lot. And I will say this of Seth Rogen. Maybe it's because it's not his movie, but I feel like Seth Rogen is always overacting. And it's not just overacting, but it's like he's overacting like as himself. Like I feel like every role Seth Rogen is in, if he's not playing like the Green Hornet or something.
Yeah.
If he's playing like a Seth Rogen character that Seth Rogen or James Franco made, he's usually like himself, but a little more exaggerated. And I feel like he really took part in this role this time. As I guess he's the director of
He's
cinematography
Yeah.
of the.
Also, this isn't his role, but whenever you have a director who's also an actor, I feel like I don't know what the actual term is, but he's the guy who sits in the director's chair while the director's on set.
Right.
Whatever
yeah.
that is.
Yeah.
Sit-in director, I doubt.
Right. Right.
you call him.
Yeah. No. I get what you mean. That's yeah. No. He just he has a. For me personally, I feel like most of the time I watch Seth Rogen, and eventually you watch enough of the movie and you're just like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
It wasn't annoying, and this is the end, because he was literally playing Seth
Yeah,
Rogen.
he was himself.
He was literally Seth Rogen, as depicted by Seth Rogen, as written by Seth Rogen.
Right.
But in this film, he was like director dude from The Room based off The Disaster Artist, and I feel like he really like slotted himself in and was like, maybe for this one I'll be this character and not just Seth Rogen again.
I feel like there was definitely still some Seth Rogen in there,
Yeah.
but
No, I mean Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen's always going to be Seth Rogen. Like The Rock's always going to be The Rock.
yeah.
There's just some people like that. But no, I think he did good. I think it was a really good movie, and I'm definitely going to watch it again.
Brad Pitt's always going to be Tyler Durden.
Brad Pitt's always going to be Tyler Durden?
Durden.
Is that Fight Club?
I won't talk about it.
Oh, okay. I feel like there's a bit that I'm missing.
Join us next time for Fight Club
No, don't
On-
promise that.
on Cinematic Relief. Here we go. Here it's going to happen right now. It's the second half of this pod. I'm just kidding. It's not. I'm sorry.
I'm
so sorry.
I'm so excited for what we're about to talk about.
Oh, nothing to do with Tommy Wiseau
No.
or The Room or The Disaster Artist.
No, we're officially done talking about that. And now, oh man, another movie that came out in 2003. The Room came out in 2003, and so did.
Wait, this movie came out in 2003?
I mean, that's when Roger Ebert did a review of it.
Wow. Okay.
The movie we're talking about, of course, is Spy Kids 3D Game Over. And the title of this Roger Ebert review is Spy Kids 3D Game Over. I don't think he titled this one. Christopher, as is tradition, how many stars do you think Roger Ebert?
Now, it's out of 10, right?
No, I know why you would assume that, but it's actually out of...
Oh, it's out of 5. Right. Duh.
No, it's actually... I'm sorry to... It's actually out of 4.
What? Kind of insane moron would... Okay.
I love how that character you just did, the character who didn't know how many stars Roger Ebert graded by, was like super reasonable until the moment he shouldn't have been. Well acted.
I'm going to say 2. Thank you.
1.5.
Wow. Oh, wow. He hated it.
I mean, so do I.
It's like 35% or some shit. Something in there.
The fact that something caught my eye in the review already. I haven't even read it yet. Something
Did
that...
he sexualize the children? Because I have a feeling he's going to sexualize the children.
Probably. Something... Yo, we might see Emil. I'm hype. Because it's a kids movie in 03.
And it's around him.
Yeah.
Yeah, the early 2000s.
Yeah, Emil's probably 14 at this point.
I feel like you're watching Spy Kids 3D at 14.
Oh, hell yeah, I was. How old was I in 2013?
No, we were a little younger.
In 2003, I was 9? That doesn't sound right. I was 6.
7 or 8. 7
I
or
was
8.
young.
Yeah, me too.
Damn. I saw it in theaters though.
Me too.
I know that. That seems young. Anyways, the fact that it's out of 4 makes it so that if he goes into the half stars, it is unquantifiable how he liked the movie.
Yeah.
There's like no math problem. Don't at me that you can do to figure
Somebody's
out
going to give you the exact
percentage. You can't. You cannot. You cannot. It's like that meme.
No, you. I mean, you.
Have
could,
I shown you that?
Could. Hold on, you could. Every star is a 25%. Shitty system. 25%'s too much for a movie. You cut it in half. That's hold on.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like 12.5 or something like that.
Exactly. Here it goes. Maybe I should talk into the mic. This is how it starts. I feel like I just always have to say that because he sort of always starts in the middle of a thought. As a way of looking at... Oh, yeah. Friendly reminder, Roger Ebert hates the revolution of 3D cinema. As a way of looking at a movie, and he does not hold back in this one. As a way of looking at a movie, 3D sucks. Always has, maybe always will. I like how he's like, maybe. It might
I mean,
get
it's
better.
always... It never progressed. I'll give him that. He died in 3D has yet to progress.
Well, it progressed in the sense that it's not a red and blue pair of glasses anymore, but that's about it. Apart from the thrill rides at Disney World, I have seen one 3D process that looks good and really works, and that is high-end IMAX 3D with the $150 glasses. But the last time I saw a 3D movie at IMAX, in parentheses, Ghosts of the Abyss. We've all seen Ghosts of the Abyss, right?
Who hasn't?
They were back to cheap cardboard jobs. It's because it's a kids movie, Ebert. The problem with 3D are this is a bulleted list. The problems with 3D are 1. It is pointless except when sticking things in the audience's eyes. 2. It is distracting when not pointless. And 3. It dims the colors and makes the images indistinct.
I'm not gonna fight him. He's right. I'll give him that.
After the intro to teach the audience how to use the glasses.
Here's the thing, though. Okay, time out.
Yeah.
It's 3D. We get it. You don't like 3D. Tell us about the
Oh
movie.
yeah.
I will give him shit for that. You just gave me your bulletins. Cool. Let's move on.
So this is a interesting, spelling and grammatical choice. He says, after an intro to teach the audience how to use the glasses, comma, and then the rest of the sentence, right? But in between the word glasses and comma, in parentheses, there's an exclamation point. So
that's not how that works.
Here's how I read it in my head. After an intro to teach the audience how to use the glasses, Spy Kids 3D Game Over begins with a 2D sequence in which the colors are bright and sharp as bright and sharp as is currently possible with digital video. Then we get the signal to put on the glasses, and it's like looking at the rest of the movie through a dirty window. My resistance to this experience was so sharp that it was maybe 10 minutes before I accepted the fact that the rest of the movie was going to look lousy and tried to follow it as a story.
I wonder if he got a headache.
That was not, alas, fun to do. After making the splendid Spy Kids and the lesser but still entertaining Spy Kids 2 Island of the Lost Dreams, that's, by the way, when I was looking for this, he does have a review for each one.
Excellent.
Didn't like Spy Kids 2 as much as Spy Kids 1. Interesting. Spy Kids 2 is definitely better. Robert Rodriguez has somehow misplaced his energy, his flair, and his humor in this third film, which is flat and dreary, which is a flat and dreary disappointment. Even the editing seems to be missing a beat, so that there are tiny pauses between lines and dialogue as if each speaker is waiting to be sure the other is finished. The plot takes place mostly inside a video game, in which the toy maker, Sylvester Stallone, has devised to gain control of the world.
Play a video game so you can tell us what your experience of a video game was.
I think... Well, hang on. He doesn't even... The plot takes place inside a video game which the toy maker has devised to gain control of the world, I think. Something along those lines. Yeah, and then he goes into the...
Was there a non-3D option for this movie in theater?
No, absolutely not. This was like the first big, like, up your ass, it's in 3D, everyone will love it, look at this 3D piece of shit. I
beg to differ. I think Jaws 3D...
No, but this one, this one was the first one where it's like, whoa, stuff's coming at you. And also it was for kids, and it was Nickelodeon. People forget Spy Kids are Nickelodeon movies. I think. Maybe.
You forget.
I'm pretty sure. Wow, he actually does it pretty quick this time. Carmen Cortez, played by Alexa Vega, is trapped inside the game. Her physical body remains behind, but her mind is elsewhere, and it's up to her brother Junie, Daryl Sabera, to go into the game and climb up level by level until he can save her. All very well, but the visuals of the video game are not very excitingly imagined, even apart from the crappy 3D, and the story moves at a curiously detached pace, not like the usual eager and ebullient Rodriguez. Was he inhibited by the technical restraints he put upon himself? There is a bit of humor in the notion shared by other players within the game that Junie, the guy, is the guy. What guy? The guy on the box. That's a quote from the film. He quoted it. Indeed, he looks as if he could be, and the others are convinced he embodies the secret of solving the game. To fail, of course, he gets... Yeah. He does talk about all the celebrities coming back, like George Clooney and Steve Buscemi and Bill Paxton. But he wasn't excited or amused, and although the 3D didn't help, the movie wouldn't work in 2D either. Rodriguez famously loves to work fast, but speed and execution requires care and preparation. At the basic levels of production design and screenplay, this movie is not ready for prime time. Oh, that was it. That was the whole. Holy shit, that was so short.
Wow, not much to say. Can I tell you something?
Sorry, no. 1 sec.
Oh, okay.
Here's the first paragraph. And then here's the second paragraph. There's the third paragraph. It's like 8 paragraphs, the third one, but there's only 3 paragraphs. Yeah, now you go.
I remember Spy Kids 3. I don't remember the in-depth details.
Yeah.
I still remember just as much about Spy Kids 3 as I did before after hearing his review,
Yeah.
which tells me he didn't do a good job reviewing this movie.
I skipped a few sentences
Okay.
where he talks about the game over aspect of it. He says the movie was... Oh, yeah, that's the only thing I skipped, actually. To fail, of course, is to invoke the death penalty, quote-unquote, game over. The movie has cute stuff like multiple roles, Stallone talking to 3 other characters played by himself, and celebrity supporting appearances from... that's what I skipped.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bad movie. He called it out for being a bad movie.
Yeah. No Emil, I just realized.
Oh, yeah.
Bummer. Emil's too old. He's moved on to... He, like me, was upset that the only 2 Pokemon movies to hit theaters were the first 2. And he's like, no more movies.
And I think he's moved on to Magic the Gathering. And Roger
Don't
just
we
said
all?
no.
Don't we all? Isn't it either? It's like that fucking Two-Face quote. It's like you die playing Pokemon, or you live long enough to see yourself switch over to Magic the Gathering because you realize the mechanics are exactly the same.
And Roger Ebert just said, "What is this satanic bullshit?"
It's ironic because Roger Ebert actually said, "What is this magic?" And Emil said, "Well, yes, actually, it is magic."
Yeah, nothing much to report. Same as he had nothing much to report on Spy Kids 3.
That's the thing. Like, we got 3, albeit meaty, paragraphs, but 2 of them are shitting on 3D.
Yeah, which you could apply to. He could literally copy and paste that to any movie that came out in 3D that he wanted.
Right. Like, his opinion on... That's the thing that pisses me off. Like, assuming I'm an avid reader of Roger Ebert and his reviews...
Which we are at this point.
Which we are at this point. No, I'm saying, like, in real time, from week to week, as they were... I'm pretty sure... regardless of his, like, TV shows or whatever, he still wrote for, like, a paper, and that's where all these come from.
Mm-hmm.
And then he probably moved on to this actual website that I'm on. That, for some reason, some of the reviews on there aren't from him, which is weird to me. And it tricks me from time to time. I already know... Let's say I'm an avid reader. I already know his opinions on 3D.
Yeah.
Just because, like, the most 3D-ness-ass movie to come out into all of 2003 came out doesn't mean that I need a refresher on how much he hates it. Like, if he thinks 3D is bad in that one, he's definitely going to still think it's bad in this one.
Yeah.
He didn't even mention Elijah Wood.
Asshole just finished up the Lord of the Rings trilogy. He can't even mention him.
Can't even fucking mention him once, Roger Ebert.
Frodo was in this one. That's all he had to say. And I feel like that's something he would say.
I feel like there's a... Okay, so here's... I think I figured out this one. There's ones that he fucking hated, right? Like Pokemon and Rugrats Go Wild. He couldn't stand those ones. Talked for pages, Resident Evil, Transformers 2. Talked about those ones for paragraphs upon paragraphs of how shitty it was and how he didn't have a great time and how he had to make his own fun and all that shit. But his nephew liked it. But fuck my nephew. Or whatever the fuck those
He
ones
stole
are
my
about.
Pokemon
He
card.
stole my Pokemon cards. That bitch. If you'll remember, he doesn't reveal in the Pokemon one that that's his nephew. We found out that it was his nephew from the Rugrats Go Wild one.
Yeah.
He's like, this little kid Emil stole all my Pokemon cards. It makes it seem like Roger Ebert went to a playground with a deck and was like, kids, I've got it. He didn't have this movie is a weird case where it's a kid's movie, it's a movie in 3D, and he also did not like it. Those are the 3 things.
That's a perfect storm for Ebert shitting on your movie.
It seems like he really didn't want to do this review, which, reminder, you don't fucking have to if you don't want to do it.
Yep.
But it's what he planned to review that week, so might as well. And it seems like he just, like, shat it out, and, like, there it is, and, like, he didn't work hard on this review. I feel like as racist and misogynist and just fucking weird he can be in these reviews, he usually puts a lot of passion behind his writing and writes what his weird-ass heart tells him to write. But I feel like this one was just like, whatever, there it is.
I think Hollywood failed him.
You failed me for the last time, Hollywood. Spy Kids 3D is the last straw. That's what I expected. I expected him to be like, Hollywood at an all-time low. I should make all the movies. But then again, this is 2003 Ebert. This is I had to sit through Pokemon Ebert. This isn't I'm gonna be dead soon Ebert. I'm going crazy. You know.
Right.
We've categorized the arcs of Ebert.
You know what arc is missing though?
What?
And I want to piece it together, but we've just yet to hit the mark. The emo arc. When did he start seeing movies with them? When did he end? Did they have a breakup?
Yeah.
Did they break up? The classic Batman and Robin nobody wanted duo?
Because I'm assuming he's taking Emil, his nephew, to see children's movies because he does not have his own kids.
Right.
So it's only
nobody. No, that's too.
Don't. I know what you're gonna say. Don't say it.
Yeah.
So
that's just mean.
It's safe to. It would have been mean. It's safe to assume that's his, like, I'm the movie guy. Come see a movie with me, kid. It's a kid's movie. If I'm going to go to the movies to see a kid's movie with a kid who I'm related to, might as well do a review of it.
Important word that I'm related to. I feel like he'd pick up any kid, be like, come on, kid. You want to see Spy Kids 3? We're going to see Spy Kids 3.
Spy Kids 3? Do you know how to play Pokemon? He stole my Charizard.
Just sits and bitches about email.
The fucking kid's like, I can't look at you. The 3D doesn't work like that. I'm trying to watch this movie. It's like an 8-year-old kid.
It was one of us.
Yeah, actually, yeah. It was me. I was in there with him. God, what if I sat next to Roger Ebert and I never knew?
Movies. He definitely wasn't at insert where we're from.
Right, yeah.
Movie theaters.
True. He definitely
somewhere in New York. Probably the premiere for most of them.
Probably, yeah. Dude, even if you know of his even if you're an avid reader and you're like, this guy's pretty weird, like, how are you not going to invite Roger Ebert to your movie premiere?
Yeah.
Especially if you're confident in your movie and, like, he's going to give it a glowing review.
Actually, New York or L.A.? Like, was he at the Chinese theater?
Yeah, actually, when you said New York, I was going to say L.A.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, well, I'm just saying, if he's ever at a premiere, it's got to be L.A., right?
Yeah.
Because they don't do them in New York.
Right, yeah, no, if he's getting free passes to, like, big Hollywood premieres, it's definitely L.A. Yeah.
He just strikes
LA,
me as a New York guy.
He does. I get what you mean. He does to me also, but L.A. makes the most sense for the most world-renowned film critic to live.
Yeah.
Sorry, in parentheses, somehow most world-renowned.
I feel like he is... The world doesn't see it this way, or maybe they do. Maybe it's just you and me who can see through the bullshit. But I feel like, to me, I hear what Roger Ebert is what I said, his reviews, and I'm like, this sounds like Tommy Wiseau made this review. He sounds insane. Like, the whole world's like, ha ha ha, Tommy Wiseau. Why weren't they the same with he's just as weird and sucks just as much.
Does he talk the way he writes?
I've never heard his voice. I don't want to hear his voice.
Do you want to know what? And maybe this is a little offensive, so I'm sorry if it is. But when I see his face, I just assume his voice is going to be like, hey, it's me. I'm Roger Ebert. You know?
Yeah. He has a punch me face, too, which does not help. It does not help his cause at all. I'm just this much closer to an assault and battery if I was ever in close proximity to Roger Ebert.
Well, you don't have to worry about that anymore because he died 7 years ago.
God.
No remorse from Lightning, of Thunder and Lightning Gaming.
No.
Hates Roger Ebert. I mean, I also do.
He just sucks.
Dude,
he's such a downer.
Every episode of Roger Ebert's Critic Order, we talk, and then there's a pause, and you always do that. You're always like, he just sucks. And I'm like, I'm there with you. I agree. He just sucks. Everything we talked about can be described as he just sucks. Whenever someone, I brought this up earlier today, whenever someone talks about Roger Ebert and they're like, oh, the world's greatest film critic. Yes, I have so much respect for him. I'm just instantly reminded of how he called Peter Parker a retard. And it's just like, could you not? Could you
Well-
not? Could you not? I don't even care about the character Peter Parker. Just don't say that.
I'm not gonna lie. In the year 2020, I'm glad to say I think most of the young world has forgotten or never knew who this asshole was.
Yeah.
But if somebody says, "Oh, Roger Ebert, the famous critic, he was so good," I think I'd say, "What did you read of his?" Because I'm sure I've read more than you of what Roger Ebert.
Yeah, I mean, at this
had to
point,
say.
yeah.
And I can tell you, he does not deserve any respect or praise. He's kind of an asshole.
He's kind of a dick. He kind of sucks.
And it's not even, I don't even care about his point of view on movies. I could be wrong all day. You could sit here and tell me that movie that
Oh
he
yeah,
shit on.
at the end of the day, we're talking about Roger Ebert's opinion.
Well, I'm just talking about the language he uses. I hate this man because
Right,
he's
that's what
such an asshole.
Right, that's what I mean. Have an opinion about a movie. Maybe people agree with him and not us, but
Right.
look beyond that for a moment. He's like,
That's his professional work, and that's the language he chose to use.
yeah. This is RogerEbert.com, a website that he wrote for, named after him.
That's despicable. That's disgraceful.
Yeah,
That's how that man chooses to
present
vocalize
himself in his own home, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Using words like that, being sexual,
weirdly sexist and misogynist. And,
sexist and sexual. I don't need your preferences in your goddamn movie review.
Yeah.
Unless you're watching The Room and need to describe to me in great detail the 7 or 8 sex scenes and what you thought of them, I don't need your opinion.
No, yeah, that's...
Or your dumbass story about how you touched a boob at a circus tent
Oh my
or something.
God, I know.
It's weird.
Tell me about it.
You're
no,
weird.
It is weird.
This is your
and,
professional
and
work.
I feel like if someone else was here, they'd be like, well, he's old. And I say that's no
Doesn't
excuse.
matter. Does
You
not
don't have
matter
to,
in the slightest.
I know plenty of old people who aren't huge creepers.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's just called having integrity and respect for
Yeah.
yourself and your work. And other people.
And other people. You'd think it's just so easy. Like, even if you're like, and I'm going to say it again, I hate this word, but even if you're sitting down to review Spider-Man and you're like, well, retarded is the perfect word to describe this character, just
It's
think
not.
for a fucking, even if it was, just think
Yeah.
for a second longer, and you're like, well, people don't like this word, maybe I shouldn't use this word,
Yeah.
regardless of what I think, or if I would use this word, maybe I shouldn't. That's what's missing. The will this offend people? Well, I don't care.
And because I don't want to sound hypocritical, because you and I take this channel very seriously too, and people could say, well, you guys use shitty language sometimes. There's a time and a place for everything.
Right.
If you go on our Sunday videos, if you watch our video essays and stuff like that, like your Kitty Pride, it's not like blah 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 blah, but nice tits. It's like
Right.
It's you're being serious. There's
And to
times
it-
where we joke and use and the only time off-colored language is used in our video essays is to make a point or a joke, and it's
And it's always censored.
it's always censored, and it's always tasteful in quotation marks.
Mm.
It's used properly. Then I mean, if you're watching our Let's Plays or whatever, we're dicking around.
Yeah.
There's a time and a place for everything on this
Right,
channel.
and I think well, that's a good point to bring it back to what we were talking about. There's a time and a place for that, and I don't think during your super high end, everyone's going to read this film review is the place for
Right.
that. Because I made the analogy earlier, and I think it's a good one. With this website where you put all your movie reviews, it's like you invited us into your own home. So this is how you act in your own home,
right.
which is inappropriate to say the least.
Absolutely. And he clearly is a man of who thinks of himself highly, who's
well, because
very
fucking
posh.
everyone else thinks of him highly.
But that's the mannerisms he uses. If we had a very professional, very, people are going to listen to this and take it not with a grain of salt, but actually think about our Sunday videos. We make those in hopes of showing people our genuine opinion on a subject.
Yeah.
You act professional about it.
Right.
When we're dicking around playing a game, we're dicking around playing a game. When we're
Right.
making a skit, that's fun for us. We make scripts, which is essentially what he's making,
Yeah.
and we take them seriously.
Yeah.
There's just a time and a place.
The keyword for this conversation is the word essay.
Right.
It's literally an essay on paper, but we turn it into a video.
Right.
That's what his reviews are. They're just essays about a certain
Right.
movie. And it's embarrassing when he takes like 2.5 paragraphs to talk about one time he touched a titty at a circus or whatever.
And here's the thing. Maybe that would be a cute anecdote that might have even had some charm to it, assuming he has like 0.1% charm in his whole body on a talk show. That's when you let your hair down or something like that.
Yeah.
When it's not directly what you're doing to show the public,
Right.
here's my serious side,
sure-
this is my professional side, here it is.
Because I'm sure
I
there
touched
was
a titty.
I'm sure there was more than a few people who were like, Dunk, Ebert's new review. Let's see what he thought about this week's movies. And then they read it and they're like, oh, good to know. I won't go see Spy Kids 3D. And that's a bad example. That's a terrible movie.
Yeah.
But sometimes he reviews pretty okay movies. Then he gives them just flaring reviews. And it's just like, I don't know. I'm scared to, I'd be scared to meet the people who are like, no, Roger Ebert, love him, read all his stuff when it came out.
I would think differently of that person, and I'd bring up certain things like, what did you think of this paragraph?
It's exactly the conversation that I have with people when they say that they like The Big Bang Theory. I'm like, really? Why do you like that? Because at the end of this conversation, I'm probably going to have a different opinion of you, or you're going to have a different opinion of The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the same thing, where it's like, well, really, hang on. You like Roger Ebert? Now we're talking about this.
Yeah. Now, I'd like to hear a good argument for redeeming qualities of Roger Ebert, besides the fact that it's not even that his compass doesn't always point north on reviews either. He's been wrong about historically famous movies before too.
Yeah.
It's not even that he
Yeah.
always gets it right. Like, there's some middling ones, like who gives a shit what he thought of Spy Kids 3?
Right.
But there's some famous movies that have since aged well
Yeah.
that he just missed the mark. Doesn't that take him down a peg
I'd say.
somebody who did reviews?
I'd say.
I would too. I think that's about it though, right?
For this podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're good. Are we doing the movie we talked about for next week?
Yeah, sure.
Next week we're doing Troll Hunter. There's a couple different movies that have troll in the name, but this is the Scandinavian one with English subtitles.
It's a very niche indie European movie
Yeah.
that Thunder and I happen to both love and found separately. We did not
Oh, yeah, this was
know about
yeah.
this movie
Well,
because of the other one.
It was on Netflix in like 2009.
Yeah.
It was on Netflix like a while ago,
And
but
we both happened to watch it and both happened to love it, and we want to share it with you all.
and I've actually only seen it once.
I think I've seen it once as well.
Good, cool. Yeah, and I was a high schooler, so I'll definitely I'm looking forward to watching it again. But it's on Tubi. If people don't know, Tubi is like Netflix, except it's a cesspool of B horror films, and it's totally free. And that's where Troll Hunter is. Troll Hunter is not a B movie horror film. But I think B movie is a good way of describing it. But it's like a really
it's a found
good one.
footage Blair Witch Project
Yeah.
kind of movie, but it doesn't quite bring the horror
No,
that those
I'd
ones
say
bring.
I'd honestly, I know this is gonna sound weird, but I've been conceptualizing this in my head. I'd consider Troll Hunter a horror movie with no horror.
Yeah.
Like a movie that like, oh, this is kind of like scary, but it's not. Like if they said if it was classified as horror movie, I'd be like, yeah, but it's not scary.
Yeah. No, I 100%.
But yeah, that'll do it for us.
All right.
Until next time, I've been Thunder.
And I'm Lightning.
Stay safe, stay clean, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for listening and watching. And if you like what you see, please be sure to subscribe.
Our channel is daily uploads from podcasts to video essays, let's plays to skits.
Be sure to find us on Twitch and Patreon.
Our theme song is Sunny Day by Froggy and the Friendship, and our Let's Play intro is Sunny Bit by the same band.
Link to all these in the description below. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.